Hey guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome to my channel. So today's video is another watch me work, and you guys, I'm obsessed with these nails. I used some stamping, I used some pigments, and I did a little hand painting. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around, keep on watching. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and let's get started. Alright guys, so starting off, I'm removing her old set. This is a top design, which means it is on top of the acrylic. It is not embedded. I do have a watch me work on these ones as well. So you guys, I forgot to press record. Well, I didn't actually forget to press record. I thought I pressed record, and unfortunately I pressed stop instead of record. So it did not record the actual removal of that design. So I'm going in with my cuticle pusher now, and I am pushing back that proximal nail fold to expose the cuticle. Now you will notice as I'm going through the nails that she had some pocket lifting on some of the nails, and she also had a bad lift on her left pinky. She jammed that one and she popped it, so she glued it down, so I did have to remove all of the glue. Now generally she has central lifting or pocket lifting on her pointer fingers because she types with her pointer fingers, but it was on her thumbs, and I'm quite certain that last time it was on her thumbs as well, which is weird. So generally I go through and I do all 10 of her fingers at the same time. Well, not at the same time, one at a time, but I go through and do all 10. But she was just currently on her phone reading something right now, so I'm just going to work on her right hand, and then I will switch over to her left hand. So I'm going in with my hand file right now, and I am basically just smoothing out any little bits of lifting that are left, and I'm refining that shape and making sure that they come to a really sharp point. I did take off a little tiny bit of length because she's having that lifting. We're just thinking that they might be a bit too long for her. So we're going to try this length, which is really not that much shorter than what she's come in with. But if it's still bad, I told her we would probably need to shorten them up a little bit more for her next time. And she, of course, just was fine with that. And so yeah, I'm just going to continue going through and refining the shape. Alright guys, so next I'm going in with my cuticle bit from the pink chair. I really like these ones. I will link them below for you guys. And I'm just removing all of the cuticle. Then I'm going to go in with my nippers, my favorite nippers. I showcase those in one of my top 5 favorites videos. I will link that video for you guys below as well. And I'm just going to remove any of the dead tissue that is basically standing up. I'm not cutting any live tissue, just anything that is kind of white and dead. I will remove that with my nippers. And then I'm going to go in with my swipe solution from Young Nails, and I'm going to cleanse the nail plate. And then finally I will add 2 coats of my protein bond from Young Nails as well and get ready for my acrylic application. So here I'm using my Young Nails Speed Clear, and I'm just going to be basically doing an infill or a backfill, and also I will have to apply more product anywhere that there was lifting or pocket lifting, and also double checking the apex to make sure that I have enough product so that she has the strength in the nails that she needs. Especially when you have long nails like this, you must make sure that the apex is thick enough and that it is in the right position. So I'm just going to go through and add my acrylic on all 10 fingers. So next I'm going in with my hand file, and I am using the On Vogue 100 grit files, and I'm just going to finish file and shape these nails again, making sure I refine those points. Now the trick to making it a lot easier when you are finished filing and not having so much filing to do is in that first filing step when we are refining the shape, creating those points, and doing all of that work in the beginning. It's easier if you do a lot of the work in the beginning before you apply your acrylic, then you don't have as much filing to do. I'm basically just really refining that shape and just going in and making sure that it's all perfect and sharp, but I'm not having to really debulk or take a lot of product off. So it definitely helps if you do a lot of that shaping in the beginning of the process rather than applying a ton of product and then trying to have to take it down. Alright guys, so now I'm going in and I'm just cleansing the nail with some alcohol. Now I did not buff these nails because I'm going to be applying gel polish, and I find that gel polish sticks better if there is more ridging to the nail, so it's better if you don't buff them. So I'm going in with my Madame Glam's Perfect Black, and I'm going to apply 2 thin layers. I always recommend doing 2 thin layers. Madame Glam's gel polishes are really good, and you probably could get away with 1 coat if you really needed to in a pinch, but I always recommend that you do 2 thin coats to make sure that they are curing properly, especially when it comes to dark colors like black. So the next thing I did was I actually wiped the dispersion layer off of the gel polish because I'm using pigments and I didn't want the pigments to stick to that tacky layer. But I wanted to test it out first on the pinky because I wasn't sure if removing that tacky layer was going to be enough or if it was still going to have too much of a tack and the pigment would really stick. But it did end up working, so I now am going to go in with all of my pigments. So I've got tons of pigments here from an old company called Elite that is no longer with us, but basically all you want is some neon pigments. So I have an orange, I have a purple, I have a bright pink, I have yellow, and then I have this kind of teal, sort of turquoisey one, and it's actually a metallic, and that's okay. You can't really tell on the nails that the blue is, or that the teal is metallic. It's totally fine if you have a couple of metallic ones and some matte ones. And then I'm going to be using a white stamping polish, and I'm still using the Conad one. So you're going to start off by using one of your stampers. Now you're going to want a stamper that you are okay if you ruin the stamper on it, because when you clean off the pigments, you're going to use alcohol or you can use acetone, and when you do that, it actually dulls out the stamper. So you want to make sure that you are not using a good stamper or one that you actually want to use for stamping and being able to see through it, because it will get cloudy. So as you can see, I dipped my little eyeshadow applicator into the pink one. I rubbed it onto the stamper, and then I went in with the yellow, and I slightly overlapped the pink with the yellow as well. And then I went into that teal and slightly overlapped the yellow. So basically we're going to get sort of a rainbow gradient effect. So next, what you're going to do is take your white polish and choose your design. We're choosing these snake skin patterns. They are from Nicole Diary, and I will show you the stamping plate. I think I actually showed it to you earlier in this video, but I will link everything below for you. And then you're going to rock your stamper with the pigments onto the stamping plate, and then it's hard to see through because it's cloudy and because of all the pigment, so you kind of have to try to get it on the nail as best as you can. Now you will see when I lift up the stamper that some of the image did not transfer, and that's simply because I took too long to apply it and the polish had started drying. But because of the way that the pattern is, it's a snakeskin pattern, it looked okay. And also I hand paint some leaves at the end, and that kind of also helps to hide any imperfections. So then once we realized that that method is going to work, I just went through all the remaining 9 fingers and removed the tacky layer. And then I'm going to be doing the same thing on all the remaining fingers, but I'm going to just be using different color combinations, and I'm going to be sticking to the 3 snake print patterns that are on this stamping plate. So next I decided to go in with purple, pink, and yellow, and basically just applying it in the same manner. You want to overlap the colors just slightly so that you get sort of a gradient or an ombre effect when the 2 colors match. So we'll end up with a purple and then more of like a magenta into the pink. The pink will go into the yellow, and in between that we'll create an orange. So I'm going to insert a video here showing you guys that if you have a nail that is just slightly longer than your stamp pattern, there is a way to make it work. Now, it won't work with every single pattern, but when you have patterns like this, it's okay if they look slightly irregular. So I'm going to show you first here how it would look and how it would fit on the nail if I just stamped straight down and used the exact same size of the stamp and put it right onto the nail, and I didn't try to alter the image or make it fit at all. So you can see the size there, it doesn't quite cover that full nail. So my client's nails were just slightly larger than the length of the stamp. So on the tip that I'm showing you here, it's not going to cover the entire tip because these are extremely long. But if you just have one nail that is slightly longer, I'll show you right here. So basically you pick up the stamp, you place it at the top, and then you sort of pull the stamper down as you are pressing it onto the nail, and it'll just slightly elongate the design, and that way you'll be able to get it to cover an entire nail. If you have a nail that's just slightly longer, you can see the difference here, how I've pulled it down quite a bit, and no one would be the wiser to look at that design and think that it was altered at all. So going back to the client and continuing on with all of these nails, I'm just going to apply all of these rainbow gradient patterns to all of her nails. Again, it's a little harder to apply these patterns when you cannot see through the stamper to try to line them up. So you can see there's some areas at the tip where I didn't pull it down enough. At the top, there's a little area. But again, we're going to go in with those white leaf patterns and hand paint them. And honestly, when I'm finished these nails, you cannot even tell that there's any flaws at all. So once I was done applying all of my stamping, I went in with my favorite matte top coat, which is the 2M Beauty matte top coat. I get this at the Pink Chair in Saskatoon. I will link my coupon code and everything below. I'll also put it here for you guys. So I have a new coupon code with them because they started a new program. It is a one-time use coupon code. So as far as I know, if you have not used this coupon code yet, you can use it, get 10% off of your purchase. So as I said, I'm just going to go in now and top coat all 10 of the fingers with the matte top coat, and then I'm going to go in and just remove any of the pigments and stuff that are on the skin before I start hand painting the white leaves. Alright guys, so it's time to do some hand painting. I'm still using this Born Pretty white stamping gel. Just when I think this bottle is empty, I get a little more out of it. It has lasted me a long time. This stuff is so pigmented. It is a little on the thicker side, so you do have to move a little slower when you are hand painting with it, but it works really, really well. So I originally started by wanting to do a transparent white leaf and a opaque white leaf. So I just took some of this Wildflowers metallic top coat and I mixed it in with some of the white Born Pretty stamping gel. And when I hand painted on the semi-transparent one, we really didn't like it compared to just the opaque one, so I ended up removing the semi-transparent one, but you guys know I like to wing it and try things, so I wouldn't really recommend it because we just couldn't really see it very well on the nail. I will actually show it to you here, like when I hand paint it, so that you can see how transparent it was, and it just didn't pop like the opaque one. So we decided to remove the semi-transparent one and we were just sticking with the fully opaque ones. So like I said earlier, the thing that was really good about adding these leaves was that we could sort of camouflage any imperfections that were in the design, in the stamp. So if there was areas where the stamp didn't cover fully, that was kind of where I tried to place the leaves. Now you guys have seen me do these leaves in my jungle nail tutorial. So basically you just create a fine line and then you apply your leaves by pushing, pulling, and lifting. So you push, pull, lift, push, pull, lift, and that's how you create the little leaves. And you don't want them to touch the line because what you're going to do after is go in at the base of each leaf right here and pull a little line down towards the center line, and that'll create your little stems. So I'm doing these on top of the matte top coat, and because these are a tack-free gel, this Born Pretty stamping gel is a tack-free gel, I will not have to put top coat or anything on them after. They are fully done once they're cured, so I'm just going to continue through all of the fingers, and I'm going to apply little leaves here and there. And that is it for this design, you guys. I am obsessed. I say that so often, I know, but I was so happy with how these turned out. Again, compared to my other jungle nails, I don't know. I kind of feel like I like these ones even better. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, guys, please share it with someone else. And as always, have an amazing day.